my name is Lauren Masters, and I am going to attempt my Week 1 Task 1, which is my first 40-minute screencast on researching why some teachers choose to make decisions that facilitate technology integration in their courses. So what I've done, I've been on our class blog and I Googled the topic, and I've also gone to Microsoft Word where I am going to take notes. And I'm going to go ahead and put my topic at the top. Why some teachers choose to integrate technology in their classes. Or in their teaching, I'm sorry. Let me fix that. Okay, so after Googling the topic, the first article that came up is the Pedagogy of Technology Integration. Let's see. So it begins the essay by explaining a lot of the common excuses why teachers or why there's a lack of technology in their classroom. And here it gives a good example of the different kinds of educational technology that's available for teachers to use in the classroom. Educational technology might include media, models, projected and non-projected visuals, as well as audio, visual, and digital media. So it's important that teachers use a variety of teaching methods, and students must be taught to use the newly acquired knowledge and skill as well as to critically evaluate and modify their knowledge. I feel like this is a really good point that they've brought up in the essay. To instruct someone is not a matter of getting him to commit results to mind. Rather, it is to teach him to participate in the process that makes possible the establishment of knowledge. We teach a subject not to produce little living libraries on that subject, but rather to get students to think mathematically for himself. Not knowing is a process, not a product. I really love that phrase. I think that that's a great philosophy on education. It's one of the main reasons why I feel that technology is so important in instruction. I'm going to highlight that and put it in my notes. Seems like this has a lot of reasons why technology is a problem, so maybe I should bookmark this for the next task, which has to research the issues why teachers do not integrate technology in the classroom. In teaching and learning, technology should be applied as a process rather than a single, isolated, discrete activity. I agree. So, participants whose technology instruction was integrated in their methods course reported more frequent use of technology for both teacher productivity and student projects during both on-campus courses and for the first year of actual classroom teaching. These are all really good points that we've discussed in multiple classes throughout our courses here at CMU. All right, it's coming to a close. I'm going to move on. Let's see, Teaching with Technology by Simon Hooper, University of Minnesota. When we envision technology as a teacher's liberator to help reestablish the role and value of the individual classroom teacher. To do so, two things must happen. The perspective of the classroom must change to become learner-centered, and students and teachers must enter in a collaboration or partnership with technology in order to create a community that nurtures, encourages, and supports the learning process. I agree also there. Technology uses evolving knowledge to adapt and improve the system to which the knowledge applies. And I think that's a really great explanation of why technology is so important in today's society, because we're preparing students for jobs that haven't even been created yet. So in order for them to be prepared, they have to be able to adapt and think for themselves and develop their own thoughts and ideas and ways of doing things, because technology is ever changing and they're going to have to deal with that the rest of their lives. So here there are two main types of technology in education. There is product technologies and idea technologies. Product technologies include hardware, machine-oriented technologies that people most often associate with educational technology. And then I don't see the definition for, I guess, idea technologies do not have such tangible forms. So I'm thinking thought processes and things like that. Okay, so the assembly line, so just ways of doing things, I guess, would be an example of idea technology and how they grow and adapt and change over the years. That's really interesting. I haven't heard those two or haven't heard it's the first time I've ever read about that. I've never thought about how important it is for, how that ideas can change and just as technology can. Okay, here's the contemporary roles. Students' inability to apply. Okay, so what it's saying is like students are too focused on remembering and organizing, I guess rote memorization, instead of developing meaningful learning. And so how can teaching with technology facilitate deeper, more meaningful cognitive processing? Moreover, what framework should be used to inform such decisions? Effective learners actively process lesson content. Learning requires students to invest considerable mental effort in the task. Presenting information, okay, so from different platforms increases meaningful learning. Effective instruction should build upon students' knowledge and experiences and be grounded in meaningful context. Absolutely. So this perspective has implications for teaching with technology. First, instruction should attempt to build upon each student's experiential base. What a student learns from education is to a large extent a function of prior knowledge. One role of technology, therefore, is to bridge personal experiences and formal instruction. Technology should also be sufficiently flexible to adapt to students' ongoing instructional needs. One of the hallmarks of a master teacher is the ability to recognize and repair students' misunderstandings and misconceptions. When learning difficulties arise, therefore, technology-based instruction should be sufficiently flexible to adapt to students' experiences. So, I mean, it's extremely similar to normal educational principles. I mean, even if technology wasn't involved, I feel like all learning should be meaningful, and you would always want to try and relate it to real life experiences so that children and students can make connections. So it's just very important to think about this when you're integrating technology in your classroom also. Moving along. We're going to go down to this critical issue, promoting technology in schools. Here's the issue. Although there has been a strong push to get educational technology into the hands of teachers and students, many obstacles to implementation still exist. Equipment may not be placed easily in accessible locations. I feel like this is going to be more suited for my next task, so I am going to bookmark this and come back to it. Thank you. All right, teaching with technology. We'll try this one. A case study of teachers' perceptions of implementing computers into the classroom. 1997. I feel like this is, I'm going to go find a more recent article. Try this one. Technology implementation in schools. Key factors to consider. New technologies have changed teaching and learning in a number of ways. In fact, one would be hard-pressed to find a single school that doesn't have some sort of educational technology. According to surveys, as many as 95% of schools are connected to the internet, even at the level of the individual classroom. While some technology is present, I'm sorry, I lost my spot. While some type of technology is present in nearly every classroom in the country, it is rarely used to its fullest potential, which is a huge issue in schools and classrooms today. There's so many teachers where I was teaching that they had so many resources available to them, but they simply did not have the understanding to use them. So I feel like it is so important to make sure that staff and faculty are trained and there's assistance provided for those who do not feel comfortable. But continuing with the article, even teachers who are using technology and report a high degree of comfort tend to use it in fairly rigid ways. So it turns out that this makes learning with technology teacher-centered most of the time rather than student-centered. So Royer says that many teachers still feel uncomfortable using technology, and they are also likely that it's also likely that teachers feel that new technologies are not proven to be effective within the classroom. If schools want teachers to use technology to enhance student learning, then it is important to address these issues. Teachers are inundated with new initiatives every year. New ideas come and go and are rarely sustainable. To avoid initiative fatigue, schools must focus not only on introducing new technology, but also implementing and scaling up new technology. I feel like that is definitely something that a lot of schools struggle with these days. So the following factors can be instrumental in implementing school-wide change: professional development, leadership, organization and school structure, and resources and support. Here is a site called EdTech Locator, which is a tool that can help school-based teams have conversations about the alignment and the uses of technology in their classrooms. So obviously everyone knows what professional development is. It says here that some schools may find that small study groups meeting during the school day work for them, while other schools may orchestrate release time through the use of teaching interns or building substitutes. Regardless of the format, there are several characteristics that effective professional development activities tend to have in common. I really agree with this. Effective professional development is ongoing. I feel it's so not unfair, but just kind of, I just feel like the point of professional development is kind of defeated when teachers are sent to a workshop for 4 hours one day and then sent back to their classroom expected to, be able to use the new technology that they were trained in just from having sat in a workshop with 40 other teachers for 4 hours. We don't teach our children like that. Our own students are not taught that way. So I feel like that's something that definitely needs to change in professional development. That it needs to be something that's ongoing. There needs to be support staff and, people there to help no matter what problems they might encounter. Leadership is very important. Strong leadership is an educational setting that means school principals and other school leaders must play multiple roles in the change process. So, there's a lot of, here this article outlines a lot of different factors that go into successfully integrating technology in teaching. So before beginning any technology innovation, schools need to have strong technology supports in place. Teachers need to know that they have help when technology fails, that they have resources when they are unsure how to use a tool, and that they can get recommendations about technology uses in the classroom. Technology tools are often purchased and abandoned in classrooms, not because they aren't helpful for students, but because teachers do not have the time to troubleshoot software or set up peripherals. If a tool does not work the first time, teachers often become discouraged and decide that the new tool is not worth the trouble, particularly when their old way of doing things worked just fine. Here, the Learn Center for Administrators features a technology infrastructure resource list to assist administrators in creating strong technology support systems for teachers. I feel that paragraph was very interesting because it describes to a T what happens when our students become discouraged, when the strategies that we're using to teach them they're not making the connections. They become discouraged and they shut down, and they put up barriers, and it inhibits their learning. And this is exactly what goes on when teachers are not adequately prepared to use technology within their own classroom. They become frustrated and they put up barriers, and they go back to doing things the way that they have been doing them, which is exactly what happens to students when they find themselves discouraged and confused. So teachers and students are not that different. I feel that teachers should always be students. I mean, I'm constantly learning new things every day. I'm like, how do I, okay, get back here. There we go. Where's my Word document? Okay. Support for participation. If schools hope for teachers to be fully involved in the implementation of new technologies, they need to provide supports for teacher participation. Schools may use incentives to encourage participation in learning opportunities. Okay. Obviously, administrative support is very important. Community support, external. Okay, I'm going to move on. Critical components for technology integration. Okay, we'll see if I can access. Oh, okay, no, I don't know. No, I think this is just a preview. Okay, I'm going to go back because I'm unfortunately not going to buy it because there's plenty of awesome articles out here that are free. So, let's try this one. Integration of technology in the classroom, an instructional perspective. Okay, this report explores issues and concerns relating to the pedagogical uses of new technologies for learning across the curriculum. There exist appropriate pedagogical uses and potential misuses of technology. Let's go over here and look through the subtitles. The effective management of technology in the classroom. Technology is a phenomenon that can and must be shaped to controlled to meet real needs. Technological change may appear at times to take on a certain life of its own. There is a fear that technology rules and that human needs at times are relegated to secondary status. Okay. Can teachers achieve freedom with technology? Teachers, too, need support in discovering the empowering benefits of technology. Too often, novice users of the newer technologies are intimidated by the required discipline to use the new technology effectively. This phase of learning seems far removed from the feelings of empowerment that technology often promises. When technique has been mastered, however, through structured professional development experiences and adequate practice, the technology will become a commonplace extension of the teacher's personal capability, in a matter not unlike our use of telephones or the driving of our cars. Technology has the power to multiply the effectiveness of teacher time and energy directed at teaching and learning. That's really interesting. So, I mean, I know systems and districts say they don't have time for this or they don't have funding for professional development, but I mean, studies show that if they would take the time, that it would have a positive effect on teaching and learning with teachers and students both. Okay, that one's talking about why teachers do not use advantages of systematic integration of technology. As identified earlier, a systematic perspective on change in the classroom represents some of the most effective approaches to planning for and guiding the implementation of new technologies in support of learning. For instance, asking teachers to simply add on additional technical enhancements to their existing classroom practices may provide an appropriate challenge for some teachers. But add-ons are frequently perceived to be options. They may be tried for a time, then discarded. For lasting effect, appropriate ways and means must be found to integrate technology into teaching and learning environment so that instructional and management demands on teachers can be reduced. I feel that that is an important idea. There's a tremendous need in many classrooms for teachers to have more time. I don't think that any teacher would disagree with that, not less, to interact at a personal level with individual students. Technology has provided labor-saving benefits in most environments where it has become established. We must, that's so true. That is so true. I mean, robots and all kinds of machines are taking over building the manufacturing of cars and different products, but there's ways to improve and give teachers more time to interact with students in the classroom, but they're not being utilized as they should be. I really like that paragraph also, so I'm going to highlight that. I feel that that is a very valid argument. To clarify the instructional functions of technology in schools, a primary distinction can be made. Technology as an objective of instruction or an end or goal to which learning is directed, and technology as an enhancement to learning methods or a means by which learning can be facilitated across the curriculum. Learning with technology. In contrast, the interest in technology as a means by which learning of objectives across can be facilitated is commonly described as learning with. This category of use differs significantly from the first. Teachers use both curriculum-free and curriculum-specific software that conforms in difficulty level and content to the established curriculum. So I guess here they're just discussing technology enabling learning and going along with it and being part of the curriculum. So, I mean, this is just a really great example of, I mean, 4 simple, easy ways that teachers can use technology in their classroom on a daily basis. Okay, learning both with and about. So, I mean, okay, I really agree with what they're saying here because, well, for example, right here, children at primary levels can benefit from learning about the computer and about technology that's available. And I guess as students get older, they should, I mean, obviously focus less and less and less on that. But it's important for students to understand how these things work and how they can use them so that if they're, not with a teacher and they're not being instructed, they can develop their own processes and their own ways of learning all by themselves. Okay, gonna move on again. Next page, please. Technology as facilitator of quality learning. Ooh, I gotta zoom in on this page. It's really small print. A few people would argue with the idea that information technologies have a major impact on how we view schooling, teaching, and learning. They may, however, argue about the kind of impact that we currently feel in our classrooms. I mean, I can see that just with my fellow second grade teachers whom I teach with. Some are so against technology and they don't want anything to do with it, and others, enjoy it and utilize it on a daily basis. So, technology as a facilitator of quality education includes 7 major dimensions: students at the center of their own learning, principles of good learning, aspects of information processing, standards from content disciplines, tenets of effective citizenship in a democratic society, teacher knowledge and behavior, and technology. So, those 7 dimensions provide a way for educators to view the integration of technology in education and answer questions regarding the shift from educational activities towards technology. This is a pretty interesting figure. So it has students at the center of their own learning, which I feel is of the utmost importance, and then it shows different strategies and different learning methods and how to obtain students being at the center of their own learning. So when students are at the center of their own learning, they're the active participants rather than the passive participants. And just because they're at the center of their own learning doesn't mean that they're doing it by themselves. It's very important for students to spend a lot of time doing group activities and brainstorming and working with others. Okay, I'm trying to find more about technology. Okay, I'm going to move on because I feel like this is just really just discussing just how to have a successful classroom and classroom management. So let's move on to another article. Technology supporting curriculum access for students with disabilities. Obviously, there are a numerous amount of technology available to students with disabilities, and they can definitely have a positive impact on learning. So here it describes in educating students with disability, the IEP documents remain critically important. I just lost my place. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. It details the students' current levels of performance, sets annual goals, and delineates the services, supports, and ancillary aids necessary to accomplish these goals. A proactive approach should include technology solutions. These range of solutions may vary widely from dedicated communication devices to highly conventional personal computers with designed-in accessibility features such as those found in Microsoft's Windows operating system. Technology solutions may also serve to supplement or transform the curriculum itself into a flexible and accessible digital resource following principles of universal design. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on. Evaluating the effectiveness of technology in our schools. Technology should be a tool to help educators meet the educational needs of all children. As such, technologies cannot function as solutions in isolation, but must be thought of as key ingredients in making it possible for schools to address common core challenges. Technology can serve as an enabler in teaching and learning, and they will help organize and provide structure for material to students. They can help students, teachers, and parents interact anytime, anywhere. Facilitate and assist in the authentication and prioritization of internet material. Stimulate, visualize, and interact with scientific structures, processes, and models. Help in learning history. These are all wonderful examples, again, of how technology can be beneficial within the classroom or in education even. Those examples didn't have to necessarily go on just in the classroom. They could be done at home or anywhere else that children had access to technology. Oops. Okay. Oh my goodness, where did it go? Okay, I'm so sorry. I thought I lost the recording. I think I'm still recording. Okay, continuing. So simply providing access does not ensure that technology will effectively enhance teaching and learning and results in improved achievement. So here, this paragraph is just explaining that, just because we have access to technology in the classroom doesn't mean that it's going to benefit student learning. That it has to be implemented in ways that are meaningful and delivered based upon the content being studied. So here it says that technology has expanded from just its instructional delivery to four distinct purposes in schools. And those purposes are to teach, drill, and practice using increasingly sophisticated digital content, to provide simulations and real-world experiences to develop cognitive thinking and extend learning, to provide access to a wealth of information and enhance communication through the internet and other related information technologies, and as a productivity tool employing application software such as spreadsheets, databases, and word processors to manage information, solve problems, and produce sophisticated products. So I'm going to make that my final note in task 1. I feel like those are very important aspects and reasons why technology, or how technology can benefit student achievement. So I'm going to end there. I hope you have enjoyed and been able to follow along with my thought processes. I was trying to read out loud and think about things at the same time. Hopefully I will improve on the next go around. Thank you.